Morning children, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. In previous video I started history chapter 4 and then the first cities. Under this chapter I explained about the meaning of civilization and what advanced state of social development required for this civilization. I also explained about the ancient river valleys. I explained about the 4 ancient river valleys. First one is the Mesopotamia civilization, which developed on the bank of river Tigris and Euphrates. Second is the Egyptian civilization, which developed in the bank of river Nile. And third, Chinese civilization, which developed on the bank of river Huanghe. And fourth one is the Indus Valley civilization, which developed on the bank of river Indus, and it is a part of, and earlier it was the part of India. And I also explained about the meaning of urbanization and cities, about Indus Valley civilization also. Today I am going to explain about the main features. What are the main features of the Indus Valley civilization? So first one is the town planning. Town planning is the main feature of the Indus Valley civilization. And what is the main feature of this town planning? That well planned nature of the city. The Indus civilization was well planned nature of the city, means when the people constructed the houses, so first they planned well how to build their houses. And most of our knowledge of this Indus cities is based on excavation. Excavation means when the archaeologists digging out the sites at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. So most of our knowledge about this town planning we can see in the excavation at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Like most of the Indus towns, Mohenjo-daro was a grid planned city. Grid. What is a grid? Grid means when the two lines intersect to each other at a right angle. So here about the cities means when all the streets, grid planned cities, it means all the streets cut each other at a right angle. You can see this picture. See here in this picture, all the streets they cross to each other at a right angle, and it was divided into two parts. The cities is divided into two parts. First part was the higher level. The one part was at the higher level, and which was built on the massive means little high platform. And here the houses are constructed of the baked bricks, and archaeologists call this area as a citadel or acropolis. So this higher level is called citadel or acropolis, and this place have been constructed for the administrative center, and this massive platform constructed, or the citadel constructed for administrative purpose. And all the large buildings of for the administrative purpose were located in citadel. And the lower part of the city consisted of the houses of the common people, and the lower part of the city consisted of the lower house of the common people. So here the town planning, the first feature, that they have the grid plan city, means all the streets cut each other at a right angle, and the whole city was divided into two parts. First one is the higher level, which was constructed by the baked bricks, and this area was called citadel, and this area or this citadel have been uh, constructed for the administrative purpose, and all the administrative buildings were located in the citadel, and the lower part of the city consisted of the houses of the common people. So town planning is the one of the feature of Indus Valley civilization. Next one is the Great Bath. The Great Bath within the citadel at Mohenjo-daro. Citadel means the higher part of the city. So within the citadel at the Mohenjo-daro, archaeologists found a structure. They found one structure, and that they called a Great Bath. They called a Great Bath. And this was a rectangular tank, like a tank. The Great Bath was like a rectangular tank, and it was made by fired bricks. And these fire bricks are closely fitted together. And this tank was made of waterproof by 3 centimeter thick layer of bitumen. Bitumen means like a tar, जिसमें हम रोड बनाते हैं, tar, जिसको हम tar कोल भी बोलते हैं ना. And so this tank was made by the fire bricks, and these bricks were fitted very closely, and the tank was made waterproof by 3 centimeter thick layer of bitumen means tar. And to get inside this tank, there is a flight of steps from opposite side of the bottom of the tank, और उसमें नीचे जाने के लिए steps भी बने हुए थे. And there were several rooms along the other two sides of the tank. और इसके एक साइड में तो steps बने हुए थे, but in other two sides of the tank there were several rooms were built. Might be these several rooms for changing the clothes. In one of the room there was a large well, है ना. In one of the room there was a large well from which water was supplied to the tank. From the well they supplied the water to the tank, and after taking bath the water became dirty, and this dirty or used water was also drained out through the outlet of the brick drain. These water are not used again and again. After 2 or 3 bath, this used or dirty water was drained out. उस गंदे पानी को भी बाहर निकाल दिया जाता था. And these archaeologists are not sure for what structure was used for. They were not sure, but they thought that this have been used by the people of the city before attending important function and the ceremonies. So the archaeologists thought that this great bath have been used by the people before attending the important functions and the ceremonies. So this is second feature. The first feature, town planning. Under this town planning, the great bath. Next is the granary. What is the meaning of granary? Granary is a place where the people kept their granaries, or they kept their crops. And to the west of Bath, a massive brick platform has been excavated. And the shape and size of this structure suggested that it might have been a granary. How they come to know? Because this large granary also have been excavated at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. You can see this great bath. This is the great bath. See this tank and steps. Here are the rooms. Okay, and you see this the granary, the great granary. Here they can store their crops. Okay. Then next is the residential area. In the town area, away from the citadel is a upper house or higher level of the cities. Okay, so away from the citadel, the platforms were built for the houses. Houses also built in a little higher platforms. And why they use this platform to build their houses? These platforms might be enabled to the city from the flood level, and most of the houses were plain and uniform in plan. And means the houses were built in plain but uniform in plan means most of the houses are the structure of most of the houses were same. The room of each houses were arranged around a courtyard. Courtyard means like आंगन बोलना चाहिए इसको, है ना. So most of the houses have the rooms which were arranged around a courtyard, and each house had a single entrance. Each house had a single entrance, and one of every 3 house had a well too. और हर एक तीसरे घर में एक well होता था. And many houses had a separate bathing area as well. Okay, well, WEL, well means कुआं, जहाँ बोलना चाहिए, है ना. तो हर एक तीसरे घर में एक कुआं होता था, और but they have a separate bathing area. And some of the houses were double storied, और कुछ एक घरों में कुछ घर डबल स्टोरीज भी होते थे. So this is about the residential area. Drainage. You think in that time the people built drainage system also. At the houses, drainage also were built, and these drainage in the houses led to the cesspool in manhole, and the drainage along the main road were covered. But all the drains, they connected with the main roads, and these were covered and were inspected, and these drains were inspected also, means unka time to time they were the people were inspected and cleaned also. The drainage system of Indus cities stand out as a remarkable along the city of the world at that time. So Indus cities, they built the drainage system also. Next is, so these were the town planning. Okay, these were the town planning. Under this town planning, they had a great bath, the granary, residential area, and the drainage system. Now, were there rulers in these cities? In these cities were well planned. The Indus cities were well planned. Town planning, granary, great bath, residential, everything were well planned. With the, what were the well planned? What were the planned? Were the straight roads and walled citadel. Citadel means covered by the wall, and the well maintained drains, and they had the well maintained drains also, which definitely means that there was a high standard of administration. When there is a high standard of administration, the cities were well developed. Unfortunately, till the script of the Indus civilization is deciphered. Deciphered means unable to read and write, and we can hardly say anything about the nature of the government. Because of this well planned cities, we can say they had a high standard of administration system. What did the people eat? A number of crops were cultivated. The people cultivated a number of crops. Cereals like wheat and barley, pulses, oil seeds like mustard and sesame, and millets like bajra, ragi and jowar. And the remains of these crops have been found from the excavated sites. And there is no evidence of cultivation of rice. There is no evidence that they cultivated rice. Fish, meat, milk, date and fruits were also a part of their diet. So these things they were eat. Next, what were they wear? What did they wear? Then archaeologists have found evidences, so many evidences. Then they wore cotton and woven clothes. Spindle made of clay have been found in many sites. What is the meaning of spindles? Spindle means like a charkha, like a round object, and these spindles were used to spin cotton thread. Spindle means like a round object which they used to spin cotton thread. And the men wore flowing length of clothes. Men wore flowing length of clothes, बहुत लंबा लंबा सा क्लोथ पहनते थे. While the women wore skirt. Women क्या पहनते थे? Skirts पहनते थे. As they can see from the various figurines found in their sides. We can see the pictures and we can see their clothes. Both the men and women seems to have draped a shawl. Both men and women they draped a shawl over their shoulder. And both men and women they wore ornaments also. Men and women wore ornaments also, and these ornaments were made of gold, silver, fenice and beads of semi-precious stones like jade, lapis lazuli, carnelian and agate. All these are the semi-precious stones. So they used to wear ornaments made of these metals like a gold, silver, fenice and beads of semi-precious stone. And the bangles, earrings, they also used to wear bangles, earrings and necklaces. The women used kajal for their eyes. That time the women also used to put kajal for their eyes, and they painted their lips as they do even today. In the present day, the women painted their lips through the lipstick. They put lipstick on their lips, and in their eyes they put kajal. So in that day also the women used kajal for their eyes and painted their lips onto their lips. Did they know to write? The people of Indus civilization had developed a form of writing. This was one of the world's earliest known script, and this writing was the form of brief inscription. What is the meaning of inscription? Inscription means written on a hard surface. Inscription. And they have written on the seal and the different materials like clay, baked clay and the steatite. Steatite is like a soap. Archaeologists revealed that the writing is usually from right to left, but unfortunately the script have been deciphered so far. Next, metallurgy. The Indus people alloyed copper and tin to make bronze, which was more malleable and stronger than the copper. So Indus people alloyed means mixture. They mix copper and tin to make the bronze. And they used knives, axes and chisel were made of stone. From stone they make knives, axes and chisel. And the copper tools like razor, hooks, sickles and axes also they made. And they also made the smaller copper tools like nails and the needles, and they had no knowledge of the iron. So this is about the metals they used. Pottery. Beside agriculture, making of pottery is the most popular occupation of the people of Indus Valley civilization. And they made a beautiful pot, a variety of pots, both plain and decorated. Both type of pots they made. Many pots were painted red with the design and black, suggesting geometric pattern. Here geometric pattern means like a triangle, square, rectangular, hexagon, pentagon. These are the geometric pattern. All these pattern they design in the pots. Next is art and craft. Two finely sculpted works of art were recovered from Mohenjo-daro, and the people of this Indus Valley civilization were a great fond of art and craft. The main two finely sculpted works which we can see from the Mohenjo-daro, one is the bust of beard man who has his robes thrown over one shoulder. And next is the dancing girl in bronze, which is shown in the previous page. And many terracotta like a reddish material. Many terracotta figures of animals, cards, toys and human figures were recovered from the site. And some of the toys had parts which moved, for example bulls and rams that could shake their head and tail, and they are toy birds which can move up and down. You can see this toy. They made the cart. Next is seal. Many seals have been found in the Indus Valley civilization from the steatites, means like a stone soap. Most of them show figure of animals which writing on the top portion. Most of them are square in shape. These seals are most of them are in square shape, and they found they are some are round and some are cylindrical in shape. And in that seal made some worshipping god or animals also they can carved on this seal. Now weight and measures. At the several of Indus Valley sites, cube-shaped stone measures. They use the cube-shaped stone measures in weight. The smallest weight found in 0.856 gram, and the most common weight is approximately 13.7 gram. And these weight may have been used to make the trade easier. Religion. Seals representative a male figure sitting on the form of a yogi, or a figure like a mother goddess, and the people trees that tell about the faith of people. And they may have worshipped Pashupati, Pashupati is the early form of Lord Shiva and the mother goddess. And these evidences of burial practices have been found at cemeteries at Harappa, Lothal and a few other sites. And when the dead were buried wearing ornaments with a few pots. When the people died, so they buried along with the ornaments and few pots. Next is trade. And the people of Indus civilization had established the flourishing system of trade, both by land and by sea also. The two large structures at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro identified the granaries. Granaries means if they have the surplus food production, then only they can start trade. And the grains probably came from the villages, and these villages may have traded the grains for some of goods produced in the cities. And this Indus river, sometimes this Indus river also used for trade. And what were the evidences? Ornaments made in the Indus Valley civilization have been found by the archaeologists in Mesopotamia. Means the ornaments which were made in Indus Valley civilization were found in Mesopotamia site, and which suggested that is the evidence that there was a trade between these two civilizations. And a dockyard. Dockyard also means where the people can keep the crops production, found at Lothal also suggested. And how this Indus civilization came to end? There were many reasons. First, the cities might have destroyed by the earthquake or the flood, means sometimes natural disaster. Another factor, falling quality of the soil due to excessive deforestation. Because of excessive deforestation, there is the quality of soil is falling down. Then environmental disaster like a earthquake might have caused the river to change their course, and this civilization collapsed. And the result, flood and drought, might have caused crops to fail and spread the epidemics like falling into down. And other people also would have moved away from this city to another city. You see the picture. Egyptian civilization. Egyptian civilization have given the world some is the most enduring and the mysterious work of the architecture. Means the great pyramids of Giza were built around 2400 BCE, and they were built of blocks of limestone and on the massive. Each weight is 15 tons. And no one knows for sure how the Egyptian lifted these blocks more than 5000 years ago. You see this pyramid. Okay, so here our chapter is going to complete. Now see the glossary. Urban, relating to cities. Decipher, to read or understand. Alloy, a blend of different metals, means mixture of different metals. Malleable, can be easily hammered into shape. Citadel, the stronghold that protect the city. Fence, glazed earthenware decorated with opaque colors. Steatite, a soft variety of talc stone which feels soapy and bus as a sculpture of head and the soldier of a person. Now your homework, you have to learn this glossary and prepare for exam. In next video I'll give the pattern already I have given in class group, and I'll give revision. Thank you. Have a nice day.